So this video, as I promised before, I said that I would do an explosion of the layout. I'm not going to blow it all up. Basically just look at the height, the dimension, the size of it. A lot of people do ask me what size is the railway, so I thought we'd cover this in this video for you. Also to have a look at this area underneath, which is my little storage area. Now it was always it was never really intended to be on the layout, but it ended up being a storage area. But before I take any of this down, which would be pretty pointless to take down just to show on a video, I am going to try and enhance it a little bit if Monkey Boy can do it. But before I do that and put myself in any deeper trouble by taking it apart and then thinking it's not going to work and then breaking something that is practical and works, I've got to look at this area over here, because all here is all the guffins that runs the layout. So I've got to work out how I move the controller and how I relocate it and how that works. So this really is my most focused part of the layout at this particular point before I take any of that down. I know, challenge and a half. So Monkey Boy here is going to have a look. I already pulled the controller out, hence there's no trains running. I'm going to have a look at see where I can actually house this in the most easiest way and to suit really my running. So I'm going to go off camera, have a little look at that, have a little process time with that, and then we can come back and then we can work out what we've got with that. I may gain some extra storage, I might lose some storage. It is what it is. At the end of the day, what I've got was never intended, and I'm happy with what it is. So I think we'll grab a pencil. Somewhere over is a pencil. Pencil's a good start. And a measuring device. That's not a measuring device. Tape measure, there we go. So we've got the elements we need. Ouch. One less finger. And I think what we'll do, we'll have a look at this, because I really need to work this out. I don't want to get myself in any more hot water. Okay, so as you've just seen, that is the bit that I've just retracked and put all the new track down and made it a lot better. Now I've moved a lot of it over. I used to have 3 lanes there. I used to have 5 foot of track underneath that section there. By taking that out, and I'm going to lose that area now, I'm not actually going to run track and horn on cue. I'm not going to run track all the way around the layout underneath. I'm actually just going to use the L shape this side and this corner here. I'm going to maintain the 3 roads down. That gives me, I've got 7 foot coming down from underneath the layout, which will roll down into another 7 foot here. So there's plenty of space to run stock. All these lanes together and this will give me 35, nearly 37 foot on the curve, but 35 foot of clear straight storage. When I had that 5 foot there, I had less than that. I had about 29 foot. So I've not lost anything. I've gained more space there, tidied this up, and got the 4 lanes into there, and added another little bit here. This will house my 2-car DMU units nicely there, and I can get my SEPs in there and some coaching stock there. Plus I've got my 125s that will house underneath there. So for me, that's the main stock that I want to maintain off the layout that I can access quite easily. The rest I'm not really fussed about because I can get that when I need it. So this area here, this was always the controller unit, so I'm going to now make this back to a proper control holding area, put this all back nice and tidy, make some new features to it. I could never really get to it properly because it had a little bit of track behind it, so just losing that little bit of track, less is more, but actually more is less in a silly way. So and I think once that's back in there, that'll just hang straight nicely on that shelf. I can wire up the points on the back there, and this one here, these will be wired up, and maybe these ones will do by hand. That's probably what my intention is. Again, I shall see how that looks once I get to that point. And I can run some LEDs on the track so I can see when they're lit up or not. So if they're green, I know that that particular lane is lit or there's power to it. None of this will be powered with bus wire. The power feed for the DCC will be back where that switch is. As soon as I switch that little switch off, a little toggle switch, that will kill the power all the way through the bottom of the layout. So anything with lights on is isolated. So it's just the track up above that will have all the power. But when I run a train down, I can put the power to whichever road, because it's filtering down. I can turn whichever road on to put the power all the way through to where it needs to go. I might need to add a little bit of power there, because obviously that's going to switch over. I might add a little switch there to feed that. So again, I can isolate that. So that's my plan, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to crack on with this. That's already done, and then we'll add this to this bit here, add that, and then we'll put it all back together, and then we'll do overall dimensions, I think, an overall look, how it's all come together. Right, let's carry on. Okay, so we're into day 2. As you saw, I painted this little piece of wood. This is all dry now. It's just scrap wood that I had on back scene, if I'm honest with you. So just paint it up from the front. It looks good. All it needs to do is basically house the unit for the plug. The wiring can go through the back there, sorry, and plug in, and then I've got a nice bit of air around the top, so it's not going to get too hot. And then I've got a nice little shelf space to add my little spare controllers, my point rodding for uncoupling, that kind of thing, anything like that. So my little tools and gadgets can go there. So that's going to be a nice little shelf. It's going to be very practical for me. I can see the controller, all my spare extension cables, which is this one, that runs from the other side. That will go into there, then this one can go into this side here. So there's plenty of space to do what I need. And once that's all these units and all this wiring's done, that'll look really nice. So really happy with that. That is the compromise of not having track, but I think gives a better look and a better feel to the layout. And you know, at the end of the day, it's only a small layout. So what's the point of having tons and tons of track that takes you so many hours to maintain when you get something that looks nice and more practical? And that's where I sit. So before I install that into there, I do need to add the LEDs and the wiring and point motors to this section under here, the middle bit. So this is going to be the main focus from now, this point onwards. So I've done this bit, this will now be the next part that will filter into there, and on the actual roads of the points, as the point changes, it will illuminate the road.
You're quite comfy there, scoffing your face.
Did you know the IC125 cab was formed of glass that was reinforced, and it was plastic, and it was squidged together like a sandwich.
Really?
So this bourbon biscuit is the same as a 125 cap. Almost as tasty.
I thought you was working on the layout. Back to work, monkey boy.
Okay, monkey boy. Awkward. Okay, so I decided to take this section down because I think it needed a good cleaning and some of the track work needed pinning down. So of course a lot of people ask me about the depth between this part here, this bit here, right up to there. What is the incline? So I know what the incline is, and I've mentioned it many times, but the only way to actually show you that in the most simplest format is by how I've laid this tape measure out. Now it runs over 46 inches, so from that point there where that clip is, and that the pliers is the tunnel mouth, which is represented there, okay, and then this bit here where the top of the tape measure is where the incline starts, behind the signal box, actually just over there. Okay, so it then goes down there, blah, 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 all the way down there and underneath the track where it disappears. So this is the incline. This is the depth of the slope that's got to get up and down. So you can actually sort of see it for yourselves. It is a bit steep, and you've got to remember this, to that point there where the pliers are, that's the tunnel mouth. That then goes around a curve, and it then straightens out all the way down and then carries on, which is down on this bit here, which goes all the way through to there. So from this bit here, that's where the end of the curve is. The curve is pretty much where that tape measure is. Now the clearance underneath the track is giving me 90, so there's plenty from that point onwards, and then it actually expands and drops to like 4 inches all the way down. So yes, that is a very steep incline, probably insane for an engine or a railway. It's not prototypical, but it is doable with a good engine. So I've got a good little bit of storage there. So I pulled this all down. I'm going to repin this, give it a good clean up, so it'll be good to do. It's going to go back exactly as it is. Going to put a little point motor in there. I think that's something that I really should do now. Save me trying to lean over. These ones I should do by hand, and then I'm going to add a little tiny track indicator down the other end so I can see an LED light whichever track is open to use. So that's what I'm going to do now. Carry on with this. I think it's going to look a lot better when it's done. Then I've got to fit it all back underneath there, which is no problem. These sections just unhook, and then the track actually just slides out. The whole thing slides out. It's a little bit tricky to film because I've got to be on it, so I've done it off camera, but I've just noticed I've also got some other little jobs to do as well. So I'm going to carry on, get this done, and we'll put it all back together. So for the first time in its existence, this is the underneath of the track. So you get all that down there, and it goes down round to this section over there. So that is the storage area, and if I can show you, I'll switch this on, so that light down there should light up, and the same with that little green light. So I've got a little battery, stick it on there, and I need to change that point. So you can see down the back there, the green light flashing, and if you look over in the corner you can just see a little yellow flashing. So that means there's current going all the way down that outside track down there. So when I see that green light, I know that, and that orange light down the bottom, I know that track is completely clear. And then if I change this point here, so that it gives me directional route for every road that I need to go down. So that works well, quite happy with that. So all that's left for me to do now is actually install it back into the actual frame itself, put it all back together. So the next time you see me, everything will be back together. Crazy. Right, so that's all finished and done. I have the controller in, I have this layer in, God knows why I do these projects, and then I've got the other bit of track in there. That's all in, and I have to say I'm actually glad I've done it. It's all nicely pinned down, nice and straight, and the thing I like the most is having the directional routes, the little LED. I think that's a really nice touch, because as soon as I switch it on, so I bring the camera down and I flick the switch over there, which activates the power to this, because it's just on a little toggle switch. I keep saying read switch, on toggle switch, and then that will isolate the power. So the moment it's off, as soon as I switch it on, it will give me the routes or the directional lanes for underneath, so I know exactly what point is thrown without actually, even though they're manual points, I can see which point is thrown and where a loco is going to go. So if I actually move that point there, right, the middle indicator will come on, so that will tell me that's where that track's going to go. And hopefully I've got a wiring, a little tiny point over there, a point motor, if I can do it, because I'm not sure it's strong enough to do it. It's an old sit on the top motor, the old Pico ones, because I can't get underneath because of the framework. So if that works, that will then, I can do that manually, so that's not a problem. So that will give me the route, and it should go green on there and a middle amber light in there, all going well. So I'll bring the camera down so you can see that, and I still think that is a job success. So really pleased I've done it. It looks a lot tidier. I've just got to tidy up under there, which I just do in my own world. I'm not going to film all that, so that's going to put some new lighting under there and tidy that up. It's a little bit clearer for me to see that area. I think it was just over complicated. But I've got all that nice area, and I'm really happy that I've done that. And I've actually smoothed out the incline. So probably a job well done. Right, let's show you the underneath and maybe run a train down it. So a busy little video, lots going on in this one. My arms are killing me from using the power tool, screwing everything. So it's been a busy one, and I'm glad I've taken this all down. I put it all back. I put some of the stock in, so I've had a little play putting the stock back in. I can house all my 2-car DMUs, my SEPs, which are 4 cars, so it houses them off the layout, which creates me better storage in my little loco storage. So it really does help me a lot from just having even just refiguring this. I've created another little shelf underneath there, which I can put my tools under, and I put some extra lights so I can actually see a bit better there. And I've got more lighting under there, which is LED. The controller itself, it's housed nicely in there. It's a lot smarter and a lot tidier. I'm glad I've done that, if I'm honest. I've got more row for storage. It's 37 foot actually that's underneath there, and that's a lot of storage, so that's good. And I can take trains off the layout. You can see the layout is clear at the moment, hence why I've done a bigger view. The only thing I haven't recorded is the actual size of the layout. So inside the shed it is 12 foot by 8. Okay, so it's 12 foot long either side and 8 foot across the back. These are 13 inches on this side. This is the width of the road. The road on that side is 11 inches, and the back on here is 16 inches. So it's a very small, and it's only a foot down that end. The actual height of the layout for itself, it's actually 46 inches high. So it's there, so it's about shoulder height. So that's just where it comes. So that is the layout. I've explained the incline. If you didn't catch that, go back through the video. You can see that I've actually sort of laid it out on a bit of wood, so you can see the actual distance, what the travel is from the start to where it actually drops off, and then that actually peters off over sort of 7 foot. So it's got a nice gentle incline down, so it's not too bad. So realistically, that is all the layout. Monkey Boy's been busy. I think I need another cup of tea, and I think that is it for this video. I've got another video planned. I've got some other work to do, but I'm going to leave that for today. I'm not going to show it in this video. So I've got some more projects I want to do, and I'm really excited to do it. I've already bought the parts to do it, so it will happen, and it will happen very shortly. So I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to get on and do it. Okay, so anyway, look after yourselves. Thank you for everyone that's followed and subscribed, and new followers. I appreciate that so much. So all that's left for me to say is happy modelling, and I'll catch you all very soon. Cheerio, guys.